That game came out though at the worst possible time for this game, but it's also the controversy that gets a lot of attention, obviously, and it sucks all of the potential Pokemon alternative that this game had out of it and stole it away from itself. And now everybody's looking at that game and be like, oh, that's an alternative. You can make a game that's similar to anything else that isn't stealing. Like, in terms of this game being like actually like a competitor for Pokemon in terms of the mechanics and whatnot. Again, I haven't played any of the new Pokemon games, but just like from looking at it, I would say this game is decently better, because this game definitely encourages you to use more than just your starter. Like, for one, it's not just a 1v1 all the time. You could technically do that. You could just have like your other monsters in the reserve and just never take them out, but you're at a massive disadvantage if you do that. Also, synthesizing is epic. Should I make him the chocolate golem and then make him a stone one later? That's one thing I don't really like, is the fact that this game isn't popular enough. So I look up a guide on how to get a specific monster, and it has been made. This has been made. And I try to look like just a text guide. They're not the best. I prefer a YouTube guide, because that's always easier to deal with. Should I make my starter a chocolate golem? I want to make Pika lawsuit over here. a big boy, you know? Sure, let's make him a chocolate golem. But yeah, it incentivizes you way more than Pokemon does to mix up your teams a whole bunch. Because there's no point in not synthesizing monsters in this game, because they just level up faster and they get different abilities from doing so. Yeah, like here I have options. Oh my god, an RPG that gives you options. That's like it's almost like it's an RPG. That's what they're supposed to do. Choices, whatnot. Should I make him a healer that can buff? You know? And I think Miracle Slash heals you. Should I have him be like a kind of a healer kind of guy? Or should I just get the stat boosts, you know? What do I want? I like the idea of him healing, actually, so we're gonna do that. He's only weak to wind? Nice! Hell yeah. I honestly don't. I haven't really noticed, that is one thing I think Pokemon does better. I don't even really notice the weakness and resistance stuff. It's kind of like in the background. It's not as quintessential as in Pokemon. We're gonna name him Pika Lawsuit again, because he's technically the same monster. And this is where I show that I don't know how to spell lawsuit. English is hard. Yep, no E. It's also not one word, but yeah, you get it. Oh, you know who's gonna get a Pika Lawsuit? Palworld. Dude, that game came out though at the worst possible time for this game. I mean, I guess it came out at an okay time, or just like a neutral time for itself. But for this game's sake, worst possible time, because there was talks among gamers that this game potentially could maybe become a Pokemon competitor. You know, something that pushes Game Freak to go like, oh, we actually gotta like try. We got this other game that, I mean, I don't think anybody ever thought it was gonna outsell Pokemon, but this other game that that would push Game Freak to be like, okay, we gotta try at least a little harder to actually get some sales and to get people wanting to play our game over this one. Honestly, I didn't really hear much about this game during December, the month it was released. But I'm definitely not going to hear anything about it now that Palworld is out. Is it Palworld or is it Pal's World? It would make sense if it was Pal's World, because there's more than just one. I'm going to look that up too. It's Palworld. Okay, that sounds better than Pal's World. But makes less sense probably. But yeah, there's, again, this game totally getting outshined by Palworld. Oh, I said yes to something. I didn't even know what it was. Oh no. When I saw that, I was like, oh, this looks like Arceus. You know, the little thing in the corner that switching the monsters and whatnot. That was before I even knew about the alleged model stealing thing, which is that looks better, yeah. Which is pretty crazy, dude. Peak a lawsuit indeed. Oh, literally the worst character in the game just came back. Damn. Like it's the fact that, like, in all honesty, that game probably, and by probably I mean definitely, looks better than this game. So just on like that level, people are going to pay attention more to that game than this one. But it's also the controversy that gets a lot of attention, obviously, and it sucks all of the potential Pokemon alternative that this game had out of it and stole it away from itself. And now everybody's looking at that game and be like, oh, that's an alternative, kind of. But not even really, because from what I understand, that game doesn't even have like normal battles like Pokemon, like not yet. Like they're gonna add it in the game from what I hear, but why not now? I don't even know what I'm doing because I was talking. It was really interesting seeing how people were like, oh, but there's always been like Pokemon knockoffs and whatnot. Which, I mean, sure, there are people that are gonna complain about that aspect, but I think most people are concerned with the fact that the models allegedly were literally taken from somewhere else and then used as their own. Now, sure, there's gonna be some people that are like, oh, but it's too much like Pokemon and it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all. You can make a game that's similar to anything else. That isn't stealing. What is stealing is allegedly just going and then changing it a little bit. And that's it. Apparently, Lofty Pixels was on. I think he did it like a few streams on like his channel and different channels, being like, "Here's a video of somebody literally taking models from Pokemon and models from Palworld and just putting it on them, and they lining up essentially perfectly." Like that's crazy.
So this is dumb to me because everyone's like, "Oh, Pokemon copied," and that's not what the criticism is. I'll show you the criticism right now. This is the one that everyone's talking about. This is Lycanroc and then the wolf character in this game. It's two models overlaid over top of each other, and if you have eyeballs, it's almost identical. And in my opinion, there's absolutely no way this is possible unless you traced the model or copied the model, brought it into Blender, and then just tweaked it slightly to make it like a little bit different.
Because everyone says this is like an asset shop, right? Where they're just buying a bunch of models and then sticking them in. Do we have a comparison to what the model is they bought versus what they tweaked it to? Because if they bought it as like dog and then they tweak it to look more like a Pokemon, I think you start to lose a little bit of ground there. But if the model they bought already was basically Pokemon, then
sure.
That
I just don't. I don't know why they would. I'm using my brain here. It's sort of obvious to me that they just used Luxray. This is Luxray, okay? It's just pretty obvious that they took it and then they just made the mouth a little bit smaller and made the flare of the neck a little bit wider, and then that's so. Isn't that obvious to you guys? Like I don't know how people can like.
Well, the obvious thing is not the intent, though. Like the question of where they purchased it from, how did that asset get from either not existing in the company to being in the game? That pipeline can be completely innocent, while one person along it is like, oh, look, I'm going to copy this guy's homework.
Look, I'm not talking about the legality. I talked about this backstage. I don't really want to bring up legal stuff because nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to trademark or copyright.
I'm not talking about legal. I'm just talking about the intent to.
Well, in my opinion, the main problem is just the fact that it's lazy and they don't have original designs.
Now, that all being said, like, in terms of it taking the light away from this game had a whole month to itself, and during that month, I didn't hear many people talking about it, honestly. Like, normal people. The official Twitter for Dragon Quest, I think it was just the normal Dragon Quest, maybe it was the Dragon Quest Monsters one specifically. No, I'm pretty sure it was just the normal Dragon Quest Twitter. They tweeted the day it was released, a few days prior to its release, but they weren't tweeting like they really should have to get interested in this game. Again, like I mentioned, the game is not popular enough so I can just like go on YouTube and look up stuff that I want to see, you know, like really easily. It's not a thing. which sucks. Because this game is fun, dude. I'm having fun with this game. But it's a hard sell to be like, play this game, especially now that Palworld's out. You know what sucks? There's a whole bunch of videos out there of Pokemon versus Palworld, right? For obvious reasons. I looked up earlier. There's like literally nothing for like Palworld Dragon Quest monsters. Nothing. Does not exist. If they were smart, which they're not, I mean, they're not going to do it, and I understand why they wouldn't, but if they were smart and like internet savvy, they would like start tweeting out like, play our game, we don't steal, you know, something like that. 100% original models or something like that, just to get interest in the game. They're not going to though, because you know this is not going to happen. But that'd be funny and cool. Dude, I can't believe I made Pika Lawsuit a chocolate man. I better find a rock pretty soon. I don't want to be a chocolate man the rest of his life. I don't remember if I mentioned this or not, but apparently Palworld has a very similar synthesis mechanic as this game does. So they definitely were like looking at multiple sources when they were aggregating their design philosophy, their design, what they wanted to make. In and of itself is not a problem, and people that say it is are dumb. That's literally not. It's just like too similar, you know. Oh hell yeah, Pika Lawsuit. Pika Lawsuit got pissed there because like, I want people to watch my game. I want people to play my game. Am I even going the right way? I'm not. I'm yabbing on about stuff, not paying attention. How do I cross this river? Damn it. I like the orders. I really like that you can give orders or just play it like traditional summoning monsters in the normal Dragon Quest games. Yeah, I selected all their attacks, but then I can just still go and be like, here's a medical herb. Literally nobody needs it. Here's this. And then attack. That's interesting, you know. I guess that's not the biggest thing, but you know, it's something. The four main guys and the 4 in reserve, that's neat. Switching out being a free action, that's very different to Pokemon. I haven't seen any meta for this game. I'm sure it exists, but I haven't looked into it at all. Again, this game it didn't seem to get that much attention. I mean, I guess it got enough, right? Like, did I mention this already? I forgot. This is the third time I'm recording this. It got like over 1 million sales worldwide or something like that, which is nice. Palworld got like 8 million in like less than a week or something, which is crazy. Oh hell yeah, dude! No, get that guy. I want a little dinosaur buddy. I haven't checked out the DLC. All the DLC seems useful. The only reason why I'm considering eventually getting it is because I didn't buy this game for myself. If I had, hell no. But since I didn't, like, it's worth a get, because they're not that expensive. They're all like useful. The fact that it's like a day 1 DLC is kind of scummy, kind of. I don't remember what they all are, but literally one of them I think is just like the first Dragon Quest monsters, where it's like randomly generated rooms that you can just go through. I think that's what it is. Like, I can't remember. The other one's like a place where you can encounter monsters you've already caught, which is like makes it easier to get monsters for breeding and stuff. And the third one, I think it's just like a daily items that you can get over and over again, kind of like an amiibo thing, like in Breath of the Wild. Kind of like that. I think those are the only 3. I don't think there's 4. Some of those are more useful than others, obviously. But like, why weren't those in the main game? Seems kind of weird. That's like pretty much the only complaint I have. Other than this feels the battles look nice. All the models look really nice, but the overworld, like, it feels cheap. It feels really cheap, and I don't like it. I especially didn't like it when I first played the demo, because I like just finished playing Tears of the Kingdom, and going from that to this, like, not great. When the way he turns, it feels like there's like I'm orbiting a sphere that's constantly behind me. It does not feel natural at all. Which like isn't, it's like, if that's really my only complaint so far, that's pretty good, right? But like, I don't know, just feels pretty cheap. But the actual like gameplay like this feels good. I love how the monsters look and all that stuff. It's pretty fun so far. I love synthesizing monsters together because they're so powerful. They're so much more powerful when you do that as opposed to just collecting them normally. Really neat. Check out the game instead of Palworld, please. It's a good game.